She found a new boyfriend while I was deployed.
Ah, she knows Jody.
In that 1,200 meter span, there was like 10 IEDs.
Before we deployed, we had to go through like desensitizing videos of him just sniping.
Adams County Sheriff there, and we're just packing up. Like, there was no time to think about anything. It was just, your entire life needs to be out of this house today.
We got it. We just finished the set. Holy moly. It changed a little. Ethan was kind enough to help me finalize it. It's going to have a couple more changes before we move into the final set boss design. But we're almost there. Hi.
Hi, Eli.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not too much, man. I'm finally, free. I'm on terminal right now, but we're almost done. August 14th, I'll be officially retired.
How exciting is that?
It's bittersweet. It really is. Like, on the one hand, like, I'm excited about all the future opportunities I'm going to have, but on the other, I'm very terrified. And, you know, it comes in waves. Like, I'll be at my house, which I moved to New Mexico, and I got a beautiful house, and, you know, we've been renovating and doing a whole bunch of stuff. And sometimes, like, you know, at night I'll take out the trash and I'll just stand there and kind of look around, and I'm just like, this is where I'm going to be at forever. Like, I'm no longer Sergeant Long. I'm just, you know, Ethan, HLC, whatever. And it's like, it's sobering sometimes. It really is.
Dude, how crazy is the having a bigger house now, and you're like, what the
Yeah,
you're not used to it, are you?
I'm not. No, I'm so used to military housing where it's just like, this is broken, this is broken, this is broken. And now I'm like, I am so meticulous. Any little thing goes wrong, I'm like, I got to fix this right now. I have to make sure it's perfect.
Yep. It is. Well, even the size, I think I'll never get used to the different sizes of our houses, but you'll walk around and you're like, whoa, wow, I'll never come to this side of the house sometimes.
Yeah, dude, from like where my office is at to the kitchen are like polar opposites. And I have gotten so I got a little smartwatch and I get my step goal. I've gotten my step goal in one day, like when I was working in that room and just going back and forth to the kitchen and the dining room and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh shit, I hit my step goal. That's a lot of goddamn steps.
Dude, it's the people that are like, oh, I'm going to buy a huge mansion. After you live in even like 4,000 square foot, it's all fucking big ass.
Yeah.
House.
I mean, mine's only 2,700, but it's single story. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all, yeah.
And you're like, oh man, this is a lot of house. People that need more than that, you don't. You don't.
You really don't. And it's just more to keep clean. It's more to work on. And then, you know, my wife love the woman to death, but her tism is like, all right, today we're doing this room. And I'm like, do you have any idea what it's going to take to finish this room? Like, even just unpacking, we haven't stayed in our master bedroom.
Really?
We've been staying because our master bath is getting completely renovated, because that was the only thing when we moved in. Like, the house is beautiful, house is gorgeous, but our master bathroom, it was very dated and very old, and like it had a single shower, and to like shower in there, for some reason they like brought the roof down in there. So I'm 6'2" and I'm in there like under the water having to hunch, and I'm like, this isn't gonna work. And so we knocked out a closet, extended it. It's a big double shower now, and I can't even touch the ceiling when I stand up with both hands. Like, it's huge.
That's how me in a normal house is. It's great. And Sav right now is going through her tism of like unsub, because now she's part of unsub, and it is so nice having the house is just spotless.
It's beautiful, man. Like, night and day difference. I'm not talking shit about
no,
like,
by all means. Like, you were here when we first got near the beginning of when I first started building this house, and it got super spotless because it's still my tisms, but she redoing everything. I'm like, yes.
Dude, there's like snacks. The drinks are perfect. Like, this is the thing. She's also, I don't know if you've ever done retail work when you hear like facing the store where you bring everything to like the front and it all lined up. Everything, the fridges, the shelves, the drawers, everything is faced. It's beautiful.
Mama Sav crushing it.
She's been doing great work, man.
I'm gonna give her a raise later. We're having sex later, babe. She's like, damn it. No, man. So, Ethan, we've been friends, known each other for, is it 2 years yet?
Yeah, it's slightly over 2 years, I think. Because I was on the last episode of Unsub with before you brought on Brandon, Cody, and Nick.
Yeah, you were there like at the last episode with Batty, and then it was like those changes, and then you just continued to keep hanging out, and then we started kind of 6 months ago.
About 6 months ago, yeah. But like, this is the thing. I mean, on top of, I would, if I could, because content keeps me very busy now. But if I could, I would hang out with you guys all the time because you're so driven and inspiring. You're not just some random people who are like sitting in a garage. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. You are actually doing it every single day, and you're very driven. And I think that goes out to like anybody who's out there. Anything you do in this life, be fucking great at it. So I value perpetual learning. And every time I come here, I learn something new. Like I was, as I was helping put stuff up, I was like, these lights are cool. I like this. And maybe I could do this. And it adds a little bit of, change in the background scenery. And it's just a constant learning. And I love that. And according to you, apparently that's a very rare trait.
It is the activating on it. It's the doing it. And it's like, what I was listening to before, you even pointed it out. I was listening to my get in the right headspace. I'll do that for the gym. I do that usually before something important. If I'm heading to the boxing gym, I'm like, okay, hey, I got to get in that mindset, because it is very easy to feel crazy, or maybe I am doing it wrong, or have all those self-doubts. Because dear God, as much as I'm stacking on, and it's not a boo-hoo, I still will have those moments like, fuck, did I take on too much? Am I fucking this up? Am I doing this right? This affects a whole bunch of people if I do it wrong. So I have to double check, triple check. And then if I have doubt, resistance, or pushback, or like, I don't know if that's a good idea, Eli. I have to stay in my head, or I'll get in my head, but then I have to get out of it. It's like, no, I'm on the right path because I'm here for a reason. So I have to continue to drive forward, even though others might find me crazy at this moment. It is why I am here. So I have to keep pushing through those self-doubts. That's the hardest one, is self-doubt. And then when it starts working, then people are like, oh, well, fuck. Okay, never mind. I was wrong. And you're like, okay, cool.
I mean, you see that even in a lot of different professions. And at one point in time, and I kind of let it fall off, I reached out to a bunch of like my following when I was just on TikTok. And I was like, what song gets you in the right headspace? And we actually put together a playlist at one point in time. Because for like me, when I was in Afghanistan, my one song that I would listen to before every patrol was Scream, Aim, Fire by Bullet for My Valentine. And like that, because when you're out there, and I mean, you know how it is, when you're out in sector, anger and rage is kind of the easiest thing to maintain, because that keeps you sharp, that keeps you focused, that keeps you like, if something bad happens, you go through it no matter what, because your brain is in that like, okay, I have to be violent here.
Yep.
And it's different strokes for different folks. I'm sure like people in the oil rigs, have a jam that they get pumped up to. And so I totally get it. I completely understand.
I mean, motivational speech is all I need. You give me whatever Hans Zimmer in the background and a dude just being like, stop being a bitch, stop being a bitch. You're going to go through hard times. Those hard times are how you should learn. Those hard times should develop you. That's how diamonds are forged. That's what motivates the hell out of me, because I'm like, okay, I can be a victim in this life, or B, I can just crush anything I set my mind to, and I will not let myself fail. We actually had that discussion for what you're doing next, right at the beginning, because with your house business versus mortgage, and you were like, "Oh no, I couldn't." I was like, I live by that, because then I cannot fail.
Yeah, your ambition is it. You are an ambitious. You and Nick are both. I don't know too much about Brandon and Cody, but you and Nick are the most ambitious people I've ever met in my entire life. And you're so. It's a privilege to see it, because you're so ballsy too. You're going in all in, left and right, and you're like, I put myself in a position where if this fails,
it's on me.
Yeah, it's on me. So you're like, I have to make this work. And so many people are so afraid of failure, they'll never get into that. And I'm starting to dabble, but it's terrifying. It's fucking terrifying. It is absolutely terrifying.
It's removing the net, and I don't think a lot of people do enough of that, because it's fucking terrifying. It's the second you remove that net in life, there is no, I'll just fall back on my 9 to 5. 9 to 5 is usually gone. It is, I have to make this successful. I have to make this work, or I don't eat. My family's homeless. I always put myself first. I'd be like, well, I just won't eat for the week, 2 weeks. I'll make sure I have enough money that they're covered. I will just have to make sure I get by, and I'll eat ramen or rice and the bare minimum for 2 weeks, and then I'll be good. But this risk is going to be worth the reward because I'm going to make this work. No matter what, I have to make this work. And it's scary, but at the end, it is, okay, I made that journey. I would have none of this shit if it wasn't for any of the risks. Going to meet Freddie, or not even meeting Freddie. I didn't know they were going to be there or run into them. It was just a chance at PAX and being able to go talk market and market myself, what was it called? Video Gamer Addict. That was my OG channel, but this is my only opportunity to do this. I get to meet like-minded people. I got to take this chance. And Freddie and these video gamers might be there and I could just say hi. And then everything else unraveled. But I did not have the money, and that's why my business partner at the time, he didn't see it that way. He's like, no, I'm not wasting $150. I don't have that money to throw around. So no, I'm not doing that. And then that was his biggest regret. He's like, man, that's why that one thing, we were doing videos, we had a channel together. That one thing is what shifted and changed everything.
Yeah.
It got both of us a job in the creative field. And then on top of that, it got me the opportunity to move down and learn from those guys in LA, which with a second, they're like, hey, you want to be on Video Game High School 3? Like, do you want to come work for us? Like, we can offer that. And then you have to figure out your own stuff, but we can help. I was like, yep, done. Packed all my shit literally in 2 days, drove down. And I told Kylie, baby mama, and Ryden, I was like, hey, give me 60 days. I will have us an apartment. I will make sure we're taken care of. I'm going to make this work. Packed my shit in the car and left. And then
Dude, that's insane.
did it. And then every time it's been the exact same thing with Doubletap clothing brand, which is why I have Eli Doubletap. Clothing brand failed. That name failed, but that's my that makes me remember. It's like, hey, look, I did start a business as a failure, but look where I turned it. So I've always kept Doubletap as my reminder of like, hey, you started here, that business fucking failed. Like, everyone thinks it's the cool. It's like Eli did guns. No, it was like Doubletap clothes with the 2 bullets. A kind of military reference, but it was a clothing brand. And my first company, like a legit LLC company, that did fail. But I always wanted to bring that with whatever I did next in life. So I was like, no, we keep that attached to it. So I can look back and be like, fucking made you work, bitch. Literally what that's from.
I didn't know that's where Doubletap came from.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. Learn something new about you every single time.
That's literally where that name came from. We have a clothing brand. God, I still have the original T-shirts. What was that?
Okay,
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Are they Ritos, my moon? We can keep this infant. I don't care. Until we start chewing. Then people go ape shit when we start chewing. Trust me. I know. People hate, dude. People
Really? They hate?
Oh, dude. Well, no, it's a weird give and take. I would like to test, like, if we chew, it's like, we'll just...
Yeah, just...
Because it does, like Rhett and Link, she has Good Mythical Morning. She's big on that, and that crushes. And it's, I mean, look at look at the fucking eating channels.
Oh my god, the ASMR eating and shit like that,
Bro,
bro.
people, it's either you love it or you absolutely despise ASMR eating.
Oh,
There
dude.
is no in between.
There's
that
zero.
Shit. Dude, we got some fucking Mexican burritos. Sav got us some Ritos,
Oh yeah.
some green salt. Oh, dude, I'm gonna shit myself.
Your food here right now.
You're gonna that will bounce and do all the lighting stuff. Yeah.
You know
Thank
what I learned recently, Eli?
What?
Part of the reason Genghis Khan was so successful in Asia was because, unlike the Chinese and the other nations that were over there, his troops were on a diet of like horse milk and rice and things like that. And other people were just on rice, and the carbohydrates couldn't get them as far as the milk fat. And so basically what I'm saying is your bloodline wouldn't have survived in Asia. That's because you're aversion to...
No, dude, what's crazy? So horse milk is a different, it's not a dairy if I remember right. It has the different, or it's not.
It doesn't have lactose or whatever?
Yep. So that's why like the Asian cultures get fucking destroyed by cow milk. Cow milk was not a thing. Only white people did that. And it's an enzyme. If you look into all Asian cultures, they cannot do lactate. Like it fucks them up because it's a weird ass thing that none of the Asians were like, man, look at the nipples on that thing. Let's drink it. And minus cows. But
Yeah.
they drank horse blood too.
Did you say horse blood?
You never seen that? Mm-mm. It's horse or goat blood. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, they stabbed the neck. It's part of it. Are we gonna learn something real quick?
Oh, yeah.
I want to say Mongolian people. Mongolian.
Mongolia.
The Mongolian people.
Goddamn Mongolians.
Goddamn Mongolian. Hold on! Stop! Wait! Don't go! We have today's sponsor. Boom! Who was that? Fume. Today's sponsor is Fume. Listen. Are you part of the 50% of people that just can't figure out how to quit vaping? Well, we have the solution for you. Fume. Nailed it. Ding! That's right. It is the award-winning flavored air device loved by over 500,000 people. Oh, that smells really good. Make it tactical. Finn, you know what to do. Raspberry air. And on the real, if you do have oral fixation, something like this can actually help you. And it doesn't have any of the bad stuff. Also, Fume is twice as effective as other solutions out there. And it's backed with lab-tested studies. So you and the doctors both agree that Fume is a good habit. Ooh, that raspberry. Also, it's a fidget device, which might be what I use it for. If you like fidget devices, this one does work really good. But if you're trying to kick a bad habit, Fume is a really good solution for you. Start your guilt-free journey with the good habit and use code SAYHI to get a free gift with purchase and begin your overdue breakup. Just head to tryfume.com/sayhi. That's tryfum.com/say-hi. The practice of using Mongolian blood milk. That is actually what it's called. Holy shit. The practice of using animal blood, primary horse, cow, or sheep in Mongolian cuisine for traditional medicine. Blood sausage. So they would, part of it, I think it was drinking blood. While not a daily practice, Mongols, especially warriors, would drink blood, particularly from horses during long journeys when other food and water were scarcity. This emergency measure provided both hydration and sustenance.
Huh.
Ain't that fucking hard, dude? Imagine looking out at your enemies. Like you're not used to that. You're the Russians or one of the many cultures they conquered. And you look out in your little monocle or your binos, if they have them at that. No, never mind. They wouldn't. You look out and then you just see them like stabbing their horse in the neck and look, no, just drinking the blood. You're like, bros, we are fucked.
We're so dead, bro. I'll be honest with you. My history understanding kind of stops around like the tail end of World War II, tail end of World War I, beginning of World War II. So like every time I go back that far, I always learn something.
You guys would correct. I know bare minimum on. Well, I know a good amount, but not to the level of like you and Nick. It's awesome to see, but I like that like super old. Like, oh yeah. Look, dude, the Japanese culture in the 1500 and 1600, the Edo period. Crazy. Did you see Genghis Khan? I think it's like, oh, he was a piece of shit. It's like 100%. But that's how we have the mail system. Like he created the mail system.
I don't know how true it is,
Express.
but I read somewhere about Genghis Khan that the amount of people he killed, it took until like the early 90s, like 1991 or 1993 for Asia to bounce back from the amount of murders, like population-wise.
There is actually, Finn, pull it up, the statistic that shows he impacted global warming, like in a positive way.
Jesus.
Have you seen that? Mm-mm. Yeah, he actually, like, a net positive from killing so many people that you actually got to see the greenhouse effect go down in society.
Shit. And I also learned recently, because I was doing a video about Iran, that in the 1200s, Genghis Khan had sent two diplomatic missions to Iran to like, hey, we should negotiate. And Iran slaughtered both of them, and Genghis Khan proceeded to immediately invade what is now Iran and like raze entire cities, slaughter entire populations. And I was like, and the joke I made is I was like, Iran has a history of picking fights they can't win, so that's fair.
Yeah, so that was the Mecca at the time. Was put in, I'll look it up or I'll have Finn put it up. So the Mecca at that time, this is where science, everything, this was the lead city and nation of science, mathematics in Iran.
Really?
Yeah. So this was like the pinnacle of society.
I think at that time they were Persian, so that might be right. Yeah.
Well, it's still Islam. So
Yeah.
Genghis Khan is also known, you can look this up, is the dude that reset Islam. He was the biggest change in Islamic history and how culture, because salt, like what's that, salt of earth?
Salt the earth?
That phrase came from that.
Really?
Yep. Homeboy burnt everything to the ground. You weren't even allowed to take slaves. It was everyone dies. Everything dies. This entire thing will be trampled. Nothing will survive this. Because why? Because the first time I sent my people, and it was, hey, you can worship whatever gods you want. Do that. He was very big into just whatever god, but you bow down to him too. They didn't like that. Kill him. Boom. Next people came. He's like, okay, hey, let's not do that again. I'm gonna try again. Send it out. They killed the next one. Okay. Fuck around and find out.
Yep.
I'm gonna reset this entire religion at that time, pretty much. Here, your mathematics, everything in that city, gone. We're burning it all to the fucking ground. And he did.
I read somewhere that he was actually outnumbered in most of the battles he won. And that's because of like the horse archers. It was like the first ever minigun, realistically, because they would ride forward, notch an arrow, fire it, turn, and then the next one was right behind him, and just boom, boom. It was a wall of fucking arrows, and that's how they were getting superiority.
And they never knew. It's like when they invaded Russia, like the outer skirts of Russia, it just pushed too far. When they went to that, it was still one of my favorite stories is Russian people or the empire, whatever that was at that time, had no idea what these people were, the steppe people. And they're very far out. They go in, they see this empire, like, oh shit. They just go attack it, and they fake lost, pull back. So then the Russians like, we have to go. We gotta
push.
Yeah. It was a trap to lure them into the caverns, and then the horse archers and the entire military unit wiped their entire military out.
God damn.
Then they got word it's like, oh, we're too far out. Don't worry about that empire. So they just killed the entire army and then left. So imagine the people. Your entire military gets wiped out by an army that then just leaves you, and you don't know if they're coming or what's going on.
Dude, that's a mind fuck right there.
Yeah. Oh, and they were terrified. They're like, would they kill their army and didn't even do anything? Uh-oh.
Didn't he like father like thousands of children because of the whole like pillage plunder thing?
It was I want to say it's like 40%, or it's a very high percent that, not 40, but a very high percent of the human populace has Genghis Khan DNA. Chances
That's insane.
of having Genghis Khan DNA. Dude, the Khans did not fuck around. 0.5% of men worldwide are believed to have direct descendant from Genghis Khan.
That's insane.
0.5%.
What is 0.5% of 8 billion? Because we're about at 8 billion right now.
Let's do the math.
Yeah.
God. Dude, 8 billion is a lot of fucking zeros.
Yeah. 9 zeros, I think.
Times 0.005, right?
No, you said it was 0.5. So 0.5%.
Yeah, but the mathematics, you do 0.005, right? Multiplication, 0.005, right?
Okay.
40 million people.
That's a lot of fucking offspring, man. That's a lot of fucking offspring.
It's a lot of non-consensual families.
Yeah. Dude, that's insane. And then they don't even know where he's buried because they rerouted a river to like cover his gravesite.
Oh, no, they did way more than that.
Oh, they did? Oh, they also killed the people that buried him, didn't they?
And then they killed the people that knew that.
Oh, my God.
Bro, like anyone at the funeral got killed, and then those people left because they knew to ambush those people. So then they left, and then on a certain checkpoint, then they got murdered far away from it.
Dude.
And they had the horses do... I don't know if the river reroute was for his funeral. He did do a battle, and that's how they actually, like, won a battle. Or something with the battle was, they're dug in, reroute an entire fucking river, and just flood the city.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Never thought of that one.
Yeah, no. You know what's crazy is you hear about this, like Mongolia, at least in my opinion, is probably the most expansive and successful empire, like speed wise. Like it was bigger than Alexander the Great. It was bigger than like pretty much everybody else. Actually, I'm almost positive everybody else. Mm-hmm. But then Mongolia is just like, we're Mongolia now. Like they just like they got it all out in the 1200s, and we're just like, this is where we're at now.
Dude, and to a boy that wasn't educated, and then had multiple families, killed his brother. Like, his lineage is wild when you read about his history.
That's nuts.
I'm full. Many of those big, Alexander, Genghis Khan, modern times, what other big wars? The Japanese culture where you had the Edo period got established by Hiroyoshi, who was a farmer to Togayashi. I think that's I think that's right. But you had, again, farmer that unified Japan. And then the individual before that was not the oldest son, but he was the shitbag son that didn't believe in how the traditional Japanese culture was to a degree and changed everything. He's like, nope, fuck that. We're fighting like this. Nope, all the farmers need to learn how to fight. Hey, here, we're using guns. Here's guns. It was against everything. And then he destroyed a majority of Japan because of it.
See, that's way before my understanding of history. Like, I didn't spend too much time looking into that. Now, maybe my tism will be tickled, and I'll start looking at that.
Bro, watch Shogun.
Shogun? I don't think I've ever seen it. Is it a real show, anime? I don't know. I don't even...
It's a real show. It's they just did it on Hulu, I want to say. It won a shit ton of awards. Like, it won a lot of awards because the realism, they made the actors then learn traditional Japanese from that time period. Not modern Japanese. It's a completely different language, dialect. And it was filmed in Canada. It is beautiful, but it shows the brutality of the culture at that time. And you get to see the white... Blackburn, I want to say his name is, when he came into that and was part of there's the Catholics or the Protestants maybe, and I forget what other English or someone else that were in that area, and him coming in there trying to fight them, but then being introduced to the Japans. Is this the Japan? And then watching his reaction to warriors at that level, like, oh, this leader, what the fuck? They'll kill themselves for their comrades so they don't put comrades in danger. They'll just fucking end their lives. What the fuck? Holy shit, what? This dude just sacrificed himself and his entire family because he embarrassed his leader? What?
That's nuts.
Dude, yeah. And it's part of it. It is like, oh, I spoke out of turn. I'll make this right. I'll kill myself and my entire family bloodline. And that's like my newborn baby and everything. They all die right now.
Jesus.
Bro. And that was normal culture.
Fucking Christ. And these soldiers cry nowadays about a counseling statement. Fuck,
bro,
man.
dude. I was like, what? But the level of camaraderie and leadership, because they believe in that cause so much that they would be willing to do that for their leaders, for the fight. And that's why we've talked about it before, that World War II ideology was never seen before and after with the Japanese. Like, period. They had fighters till the 70s. Like,
oh, yeah. Was it Hiro Oto?
Yep. Still fighting fucking 30 years after the fact because they didn't believe
that, they would surrender.
Yeah.
But he also wasn't aware that the sun kind of spawned twice over mainland Japan.
Nope.
You know, that's the thing. That's how ingrained that mentality was, is you had to see a weapon that the world has not seen before or since used in combat. And then all of a sudden, kabwham. And they're just like, you know what? This probably wasn't a great idea. Let's make anime instead. Just
We look at the anime now. Anime is very good.
So what got you started in your is that fridge? What is it?
what? That's the fan.
Okay. I think there's something else.
Oh, okay. I can't hear shit.
I know. I'm like, Max, don't pick it up. We're good. So with your starting in like Habitual Linecrosser, what was the first couple of videos you did? Where you're like, well, actually, let's rewind before that. What made you join the military? Because your childhood, you have a bigger family. You weren't a well-to-do family either.
No, we were. I don't want to say we were impoverished, but I was on food stamps before growing up as a kid.
So you were impoverished.
Yeah. It's
I don't want to say we were poor, but we had food stamps.
yeah. So, grew up very, I guess, red, white, and blue, all American family, lower income. My dad had 1 kid with his first wife, 2 kids with his second wife, 3 kids with my mom, and now he's on his 4th wife.
Third time's the charm. Never mind.
Yeah, no. My mom had 1 kid before she met my dad, but he was like estranged, and she put him up for adoption, and we she found him, or he found her, whatever, years ago, and so he's still my brother.
Yeah.
And so my parents have a bit of a yours, mine, and ours thing going on. And I remember my dad, his big thing growing up as kids was you're either going to go to college, trade school, or the military. Well, college is stupid expensive. Plus, my dad notoriously was kind of like, he wasn't overtly like you shouldn't go to college, but it was a lot of like anti-college tones about, well, they make you think a certain way. And I mean, the same thing the military does. It just wasn't aligning with his, personal beliefs. And I remember I graduated high school. So a year before we graduated high school, it was May 7th, 2007. I got my sister, my older sister. She was actually the school nurse at my school. And I got called to the school nurse's office, and I was like, what's going on? And she's like, get in the car. We got to go. And I was like, okay, what the hell's going on?
Oh, God. This Ghostbed mattress is cool, comfortable, and amazing. And when you pair it with one of their amazing pillows, it's better than doing the deed. She heard that. And another thing, the bed can't leave you. Oh. Well, looks like I'll be sleeping alone. But at least I'll be sleeping cool and comfortable with their new technology. And they're built to last. High quality, durable material, backed with a 20 to 25 year warranty. That's gonna last longer than my marriage. And they have 60,000 5-star reviews. I sleep on a ghost bed, I swear by it, and I couldn't go back, even for her. Right now, prices are already lower, but you'll get an extra 10% off if you use code Eli at checkout. That's ghostbed.com/Eli. Use code Eli. Sleep better and stay cooler. I miss her, but I can sleep like an angel.
Well, my dad loved the man to death, but he made a mistake. He made a series of mistakes. And so we were on our way back to my house where, the house we grew up in. And she was like, you need to pack all your stuff and get it out. We're being evicted. We're being kicked out of the house that you grew up in. And
what age was this?
I was 17.
Okay. Holy shit. So you're actually processing this shit way more.
Yeah. So I showed up and there's like Adams County Sheriff there, and we're just packing up. Like there was no time to think about anything. It was just your entire life needs to be out of this house today. And so like all day we were working on it, just trying to get this. We were moving, like my dad, we had 3 acres and we were just moving cars off of the property. We were moving like everything. And so we didn't really have time to think about it. And I remember it was probably about a week or two, because my dad he's definitely a hustler. That's the one thing he got us all to do is like, if he needs to make money, he'll make money. I don't know how the whole house thing happened, whatever. And, I was staying with my older sister. My little sister was staying with my older brother. And then my parents were staying in a hotel. and we got a new place, and so we start, like moving in and unpacking and everything else like that. And that's when they let us know that they were going to be splitting up. So like that, I mean, I'm 17 years old, right in the teenage years. Everything is the worst thing in the world.
Yep.
And then parents are splitting up. So like my whole world, in the matter of like 2 weeks, my entire world collapsed.
This was in 2 weeks?
Yeah, this was about 2 weeks.
Man, as a parent, I couldn't imagine putting my kiddos through that. Like, I wouldn't know how to talk to them.
Yeah, I don't. To this day, like years later, I mean, I can get into that, but I almost had my house that I owned in Oklahoma foreclosed on. And I was living on ramen noodles and ice water and riding a bicycle to work because I refused.
Because you made it work.
Yeah, I was like, I refused. And I had to ask my older brother, and I had what I had, and he had, and I was like, this is literally all I need to like get me there. And he helped me out. And then about a month later, I was able to secure an Army Emergency Relief small loan. Yep. And I got everything situated. And as soon as it was all good to go, and at that point in time, my wife now, I was dating, she put me on her cell phone plan. Like she was trying to help me out. I was just a poor dude. And I managed to get the house fixed up. Everything was good to go. And then I offloaded it as soon as I possibly could. And then just wanted to get myself out of that debt. I paid my brother back before I bought anything else. Like I paid my brother back. I paid the AER back. I was like, boom, I'm done there. Let's continue on. And then when I finally sold the house, I took that and I paid off my truck. I was like, I'm liquidating debt. I'm just getting rid of debt as much as I can.
Do you know why you're fear of the safety net? You don't like to do that?
Why? Because of that?
Your child, like your dad, parents, that situation in those 2 weeks, you just had like a very traumatic experience happen where everything, your safety net, you're like my parents and all that disappeared. And then the relationship, this is a forever thing, my parents' marriage, that's gone. So now you live by, I need to make sure I have these reinforcements because I hated that feeling of it being gone.
Yeah.
So that's why now you fucking sweat it when we have a discussion. It's like, because I don't have that mind. Like, it's that way. I take it, I don't need the safety net and I live my life by that. But that's where that trauma comes from that fueled now even. We've discussed how much you would have made staying in throughout that entirety versus now and showing you that number. You're like, oh, shit. But it was still a lot of worry. And you're still afraid getting out of the military because you're like, oh, I don't know. This is a for sure. This is a for sure where this is an unknown.
Yeah. The unknown is absolutely terrifying. But I'm, and shout out to my wife. She's always the number one player on my team because she was like, she told me, she's like, Ethan, you're a hustler. Like if this social media thing falls through, I know for a fact you will work your ass off to make things work. Like, cause that's just the person that I am. I refuse to fail.
Yeah.
So she's definitely in my corner and it's nervous. I'm nervous definitely about this, Eli.
I feel you, trust me.
But I was driving after I graduated high school. At first, I moved up to Laramie, Wyoming with my uncle Nolan, and I was working at the Ivinson Memorial Hospital as a janitor. And that was, it was an okay job. Like I didn't like cleaning the morgue and shit, but it was a job. And I remember my older brother Eli, same name, yeah, he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay,
so he had cancer, yeah. And I was like, I need to go back home. I need to go. Yep. And so I moved from Laramie, Wyoming back to Denver, and I was there with my dad, and Eli was, he had a tumor removed and they, it's in remission and he's, he's all good and stuff. I was like, cool, I need to get back to work. My dad's like, I'm starting a tow truck company. Do you want to operate a tow truck? And I was like, yeah, I'm not afraid of hard work. I grew up, my dad was a trucker. So like, I know my way around a truck. Yeah. And so we were hauling cars. And it was, at first it was a ramshackle job. Like we had a shitty trailer with a winch on it. And it was insurance repo. So a car gets totaled, we grab the car and take it to the insurance company. Like it wasn't not a big deal. And then we started getting a lot of work. And I remember I worked my ass off for like 2 weeks. I was pretty much living in the truck, living off of fucking full throttle energy drinks and sunflower seeds. That was my diet. And I pulled in like 60 cars in 2 weeks, which for his company is about 12 grand.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, hey, and he's like, go get some rest. I'll get your paycheck and everything ironed out. I was like, cool, whatever. I did blow the turbo in the truck. I will tell you that. I blew up the turbo. but it was under warranty. So it was literally just take the parts. Hey, I need a new turbo, and boom, they got a new turbo. And I walked up the stairs after I got some rest, and he's like, hey, you know, fuel costs, truck costs, things like that. He's like, but you know, you worked your tail off. Here you go. Handed me a paycheck for $23. Yeah.
Fuck off.
So I've never been ungrateful for anything I've ever gotten. Like, no matter how hard I work, I'm not ungrateful. So I said, thank you. And I went and cashed it. I put it in gas in my truck. I drove to the recruiter station, and I was gone 2 weeks later. I was like, get me the fuck out of here.
How the
I don't know how that irons out. I have no idea.
brother, like I would have again reflecting on, man, I would have the mindset of, I owe my kiddo I'll throw in a bonus. You know why? Because a year ago also some not that shit happened.
Yeah.
They got their lives ripped up. Probably a little trauma might come from that. I want to make this right, and my kiddo just kicked ass and took names. Writing $23, not $28. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I was like, huh, okay. And I remember because the first trip I took to the recruiter station, I was in my truck, and I was no felonies, no misdemeanors. I had a high school diploma, not a GED, and I had a decent score on the ASVAB. It was like a 54 overall. I mean, it's not terrible. And so like I went there, did all the paperwork, took the ASVAB the first time, and then I was like, I don't got any money for gas, and they fucking pull up in them the G jets or whatever, the cars, the fucking just pull right up like, let's go. They'll take you immediately.
Especially at that time frame.
Oh, yeah.
They would have flown you if you're signing up. They're like, this is a for sure win. We're golden.
Yeah, it was 2009.
Let's take him to Applebee's. Really showing the ropes. You're like, wow, man, they take care of me.
Yeah. And I didn't even know what I wanted to do, but because I was such a decent candidate, like they handed me a list of like 100 and some odd fucking jobs. And I never used to be a fan of reading. So I was like looking at the list, and then I remember looking on the wall, and there was a picture of a guy, like I think at that time it was still Army Strong. It might have been Be All You Can Be. I can't remember what the thing was.
Army Strong, actually, 2009. Yeah.
Okay. There was a guy with an M4 standing in front of an Abrams, and it said like Army Strong. And I saw the big banner on the wall. I was like, can I do that? And the guy was like, 19 kilo armor crewman, you leave in 2 weeks. And I was like, cool.
Was Army of One was right before Army Strong, right?
Yes. And now it's back to Army. No, and now it's back to Be All You Can Be.
Okay, because Army of One was the dumbest shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like, hey, you're an Army of One, which is going against everything.
Yeah.
The Army, like teamwork, unity, like you're part of a team, a unit. And they're like, no, you an army of yourself, bro. Be selfish as good luck.
Fuck you, go to Iraq.
How was your family's reaction when you came back and were like, hey, Dad, I quit?
My dad, believe it or not, was incredibly supportive of my decision. He was. My dad's always, very, very much a supporter of the military. I had an older brother that went and joined the Navy, and my mom, her big thing was she wanted me to talk to all the different branches. So I already knew I didn't want the Navy because for me, I knew anything I did in the Navy would be compared to my brother's accomplishments. Nothing against him. Yeah. It's just. It was either I do better than him or I do worse than him, and that was a no-win for me. So I was like, then I went and talked to the Air Force. They were not interested at all in me, which is fair. Talked to the Marine Corps. Originally, I was actually going to join the Marine Corps, and then they screwed themselves. Yeah, they screwed themselves on that one. I remember I was walking in one day, and there was I think it was a first sergeant, and he's like, "What makes you think you're good enough for my corps?" And I was like, "You right?" And I walked out. All right, bro, you want to fuck that up for your guys? All right.
What a sales pitch.
Yeah.
But damn it, again. They keep leaving. Will you scare them, man?
Fuck. But yeah, and then I left to the Army, and goddamn Fort Knox, man, Kentucky. In 2009, they had one of the worst ice storms that that part of the country had seen. They were in a state of emergency, but I didn't know. We just lost power in the barracks, and there was ice everywhere. Like, we were like, okay, whatever. This is basic training. Like,
it is what it is.
Yeah, so we just functioned through that, and yeah, that was the start of my what ended up being 16 years, 7 months exactly, because it'll end on the 14th of August, and I joined January 14th, 2009.
Dude, that's still wild that man, did your dad have any reaction to, or did he ever know that you're like, yeah, that check was the defining moment in my life where I was like,
joining the
I don't think I've ever
military.
told him that. I don't think, I mean, I've said that story before, but I don't think I've ever gone to my dad and been like, you're the reason I joined the military because you paid me $23. I don't think I've ever said that to him.
It's like, what? How would your dad react to that, you think?
I think that he would either A, claim that he doesn't remember it, or B, just kind of like blow it off like, well, I mean, you turned out really good. Which, you know, what's crazy is me and my siblings, we all talk about it, is that we didn't do well in our lives because of our father. We did it in spite of him.
Oh, yeah.
And
Spite's are powerful.
oh my God. My older brother, my brother Aaron, kind of summed it up the best. And I love quoting him on this because he was like, Dad gave us all the right morals and values and everything, but he just didn't believe in them himself. Like, he raised us to feel a certain way and to be a certain way and know your worth and shit like that. But like, he himself was just, you know, he was a junk dealer. Like, I love my dad to death. I do, you know, he's my dad and I will always be there for him. But I just wish the man would be honest with himself and others a lot more. I really do.
It's super hard to do that, especially depending on their tendencies, narcissism, little things like that, or even, dude, an apology can be some of the hardest shit to teach somebody. I forget who I was talking to that about, but even with therapy, past relationships, that's one of my biggest frustrations, and it's one of my things. It's like, hey, learn how to communicate. Also learn how to apologize. And when a proper apology is saying, hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, but.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry you took it that way. Guess what? No, the fuck you not.
Yeah.
You just said, no, I don't give a fuck.
Dude, my first team leader broke me of that shit. Because when I got in, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I was not a good soldier. I was not. I was a shit soldier. I didn't know. I thought I understood the world, which is why I'm kind of an advocate for the age of enlisting in the military, moved to 21 instead of 18. Because from 18 to 21, I was a shit soldier. I was garbage.
Dumb.
Yeah. And my first team leader, Sergeant Flores, he wasn't the greatest NCO, but he did break me. He broke me like a fucking horse because after a while, there was no excuse for anything. Anything. I could be like standing in front of the barracks on fire and be like, Sergeant, I'm sorry, I'm late. The barracks is on fire. And he'd be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, no excuses. So like, from him being my team leader on the rest of my military career, I was just like, I take full and sole responsibility for what happened. What do you need me to do now? Like, I just own up.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry for what's going on in Iran. Israel.
my
That's
fault.
on me. I don't know how, but it's on me.
Yeah, he broke me of that shit real fucking quick.
Yeah, it is. Parents, I know my mom was like, oh, dude, my mom just, like, she would be a mom sometimes, but for the most part, just terrible mom. Been in the schizophrenia, all that shit just did not go well with it. And then, like, addiction. And I didn't realize, and I normalized it, but, like, in self-reflection of, oh, yeah, my mom was in and out of rehab a few times for either drug addiction, getting arrested, or, like, self-harm. Mm-hmm. Nothing. I never thought about that until later in life. It's like, oh yeah, that probably did not good for a kiddo to see.
Yeah, that's not around. Normal. It's
no, and I just was like part of my life where I was like, okay, put that in there, and I do think it helped with how I cope with war and PTSD because I was so normalized to weird, fucked up shit, and then plus whatever my tics are, it never clicked. Even when I was talking to Brandon and them about the floods, and I know they were out there and they had to deal with, I think, one body, but seeing their general reaction from that. And for me, I was like, I don't say anything, but I see their face. I'm like, oh yeah, that's where I can normalize that and not think anything of that. Like, oh yeah, okay, yep, yeah.
Like after a while, especially when you experience, like it's like a callus. When you lift a lot of weights, you get calluses on your hands because your hands are getting more used to dealing with that. And after you deal with enough like awful shit, you become like very numb to it. And that's something I've noticed, and maybe you've noticed as well. Like when I was on the podcast with like Tyler, or when I was on with Terry, those are some of the hardest fucking dudes. Yeah. And they're so chill. They're
and those people I get along with so fun. Like, those are my boys instantly. Yeah. I can have one day, I'm like, Yeah. Brandon brought Congressman Eli on, and that dude and me clicked instantly.
Really?
Oh yeah, I've never met him before in my life. Instantly, just homies, text, everything. But I think it is part of that. Oh, the shit doesn't stress you out. And then I have friends that get stressed from the littlest stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck are you stressed right now? But, well, we got plans changed.
Okay.
Are we getting shot at or is someone dying?
Yeah.
No. Brother, I don't think it's that bad right now.
Life is good. It's the same with my missus. So when we were buying our house, we were driving, we put an offer in on the house. And we both really liked that house. We both really, really liked it. And we were driving back to Oklahoma, and there's a span of like 20, 30 miles. There's zero cell signal. So she's like refreshing Zillow on her fucking phone nonstop. And then it says, because it'll go from, available to like offer placed or in escrow or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it goes to like offer placed, and then we lose cell signal. And so she's like, someone else got it. They got, they put a better offer on it. Like, she's freaking out. She's like, are you not stressed? I was like, I am, but like, this is just life. I'm like always stressed. Like it's just the way it is.
What the fuck can we do?
As soon as we got signal back, our realtor called us. They're like, you got it. They accepted your offer. And we're like, fuck yes. It was a beautiful old couple. They were like, he was a former vet too. So me and him clicked. He had like a whole bunch of Gurkha memorabilia. So we were talking about Gurkhas and shit like that. Like, he's a cool old dude.
With that stress level. But yeah, going back to parents, it is. And them not recognizing it, or as you said, they set you up for, you do it in spite. Like my mom, I thankfully was against drugs and stuff like that, so I would never do it, try it, just because in spite. I was very against that type of behavior.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh no, no, that person was this way. I'm going the opposite. Jealousy. She was super jealous, so I'd go the opposite of it, and I just kept that my entire life. Because why? In spite.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like the same way I am with alcohol. Love my dad again, but he's a drinker. Actually, the photo we have on the sibling chat that me and just all the siblings are in, the parents aren't in that, is a picture of my dad at my older brother's graduation party, passed out on a fucking picnic table. And it's from like 2002, and my dad literally just blackout passed out on this fucking picnic table. And that's our picture for the family or the sibling chat. We used to play a fun game. I thought it was like normal, like go find dad's puke where he vomited and like just shit like that.
Found it. What do I win?
What do I win? Oh man. And but yeah, now like every once in a while, I mean, like I can have a few drinks, and then if I ever find myself like, man, I really want to drink tonight, my brain will be like, nope, you're not drinking for the next month. I'm like, cool, I'm stone cold sober for the next month, just because I have an addictive personality, and once I start like, oh man, I really want to drink, my brain's like, no, the fuck you don't.
No. Oh, I love that shit. So you got that, then the military set you up or your first team leader, squad leader, really instilled like, hey, this is what you're going to do. When did the missiletism really take over?
So it was after Afghanistan. So obviously the first 3 years I was in the military, I was a 19 kilo, but 9 months prior to Afghanistan, they took away my rifle or took away my tank, handed me an M14, and they're like, you're a designated marksman. And Afghanistan, it was, I did a lot of growing up in that part of the world. I learned to get very numb to things. It wasn't like, I don't get into pissing contests with other people who've been to combat. Mine was better than some, worse than some. Like that's just the way that I look at it. I had an easier deployment than some people. I had a worse deployment than other people. Lost friends, had friends wounded, things like that.
It's war's not fun. I can't stress that enough.
No, it's
to the people that think I joined because of Metal Gear Solid. And then I learned real quick after a couple of gunfights. Oh, and I think Terry talked about it. It doesn't matter how well you're trained. A bullet does not give a shit. And
exactly.
It is a random stray ID can just hit you.
Yeah, I remember when we lost Mark and Casey. It was Monday, August 30th, 2010. Mark Naziska was my platoon leader, and Casey Grakowiak was one of our squad leaders. And Casey, if you'd have told me we were going to lose Casey, I'd have told you bullshit. Our entire platoon was getting wiped out before we lose Casey. The man was 10 foot tall and bulletproof.
Yeah.
Like Casey was he was an amazing human. The first time I ever had bullets whiz over top of my head, he laughed at me. because he was, I mean, Ranger bat, like he fucking just stone cold motherfucker. And the rounds that whizzed over top of me were actually 50 cal from American 50 cals. And they were behind us because the Taliban got real fucking smart. And they knew we were here and they had gun trucks here. And so they like used the low ground, got in between us, shot at the gun trucks and then got low and got out. So they were shooting at us. Fucking smart little bastards.
Yep.
And so we had cover. So I'm inside a compound and I saw a couple of tracers and I hear like, and I fucking dropped. And Casey was up actually higher than me behind me. And he's like, Long, come on, those weren't even near you. I was like, fucking close enough, man. Like, nope. Oh, man.
They are not making snap sound.
Oh, fuck, dude. And then I remember, dude, we had so many fucking IEDs. It was Operation Southern Comfort. And for a couple of years, I used to kill a bottle of Southern Comfort on August 30th.
I was going to say, I was like, SoCo is such...
Yeah.
I haven't heard that fucking drink in so long.
And I remember
Do they make that still?
I think so. I've seen it. I've seen it
Okay.
around. Yeah, it's just cheap. I mean, it's kind of like a sweet, I don't know, is it a whiskey or a bourbon?
It's like a cherry whiskey?
Yeah,
or
it's
something like that.
It's not good. I used to kill a bottle of that on every 30th just by myself. And that was not a healthy thing to do.
Not a high point in your life.
No. And I remember we were there and it was they baited us in. It was bumper number 004 because I remember I identified it myself. We were in Bazarche and our previous objective was Gari, and there was like 1,200 meters between there and us. And I remember my platoon was the first ones to get to Bazarche, and it was middle of the night by the time, sun was going down by the time we got there. And the higher echelon was like, look, we're gonna have CAS on station all night if you guys need them, but we're not pushing to you until the morning. So I remember I was huddled in a trash bag with my buddy Vicente Anastasi, and that was how we stayed warm.
Oh, yeah,
I was in a fucking
cold.
trash bag. It was fucking freezing. And so they came out there the next day, and as you're coming up the road, there was the I'm sorry, I'm going way off topic on the missiletism thing here, but
No, I love this.
okay.
This is a real quick trash bag. The reason that actually keeps you warm is it traps the heat and moisture. Yes, it's going to radiate a little, but it's not perforated, so it's just trapping the heat inside everything. And then you got 3 dudes
just staying warm in that bitch. And they had gone and checked on the truck. They just hadn't gone all the way down to the truck. And it was bumper number 004. It was a stolen ANCOP truck that the Taliban had gotten a hold of, and they baited us in. What's crazy is they must have like done it in between the first and the second night, because the first night EOD went and cleared the alley, checked on the truck, and then they're like, all right, we got to push to the final objective. But in that 1,200 meter span, there was like 10 IEDs. Our sappers, fucking shout out to engineers. They kept me alive. Like every 100, 150 meters, they were finding another IED. Like the Taliban wanted to kill us and kill us all. And so we got to Bazarche, stayed that night. The next day, the other sappers and the rest of the company got up to us, and then people start pushing out. And sometime between the night we were there and the next day, I think the Taliban went in there and started planting IEDs. There was like 6 IEDs in a 200-meter span. They wanted to kill everybody in there.
Yeah.
And we're so fucking lucky that it was just Mark and Casey, which sucks to say. It really sucks to say that, but we're very lucky that it wasn't more people.
It wasn't a mass cache or a daisy chain because they got further in, explode, then as individuals come in or new elements, then they pull up not knowing that they're on top of IEDs. Then you start popping up because everyone lowers their guard because they're dealing with a KIA and then extracting of a vehicle.
And I remember they put me out on guard, and I was facing north. And I can see it in my head. If I could draw it, I could show you exactly what that place looked like because it's burned into my memory. And I remember I saw an explosion in the distance, and no one had called out fire in the hole. And I said the dumbest words that have ever come out of my fucking mouth. The dumbest thing I've ever said in my entire life. I said, I laughed about it. I was like, who the hell set off a controlled det without calling fire in the hole? It wasn't a controlled det. That was the explosion that killed Mark and Casey. And I remember I didn't even know what was going on. I had no clue what the fuck was happening. And they pushed me from the north to the east to cover an open field, and I didn't know what was going on. I saw a second platoon, so third platoon was past it, and they had started doubling back. Thank God they did, because they were heading towards an area that had like a dozen 155 shells rigged to the door. It was going to kill all of that third platoon squad. Yep. And second platoon was pushing out. And I remember George, he was the medic for second platoon. He was like out in front of the squad, and the platoon sergeant was like, George, slow the fuck down. You're going to get yourself killed because you got to keep the medic back. And that's when I saw them go out and pop red smoke, which meant medevac. Somebody's hit. And I saw First person who I saw come back was Adam Moreau. He was my fister, my forward observer. And this is why I swear by Oakley's. Moreau had the outline of his Oakley's in his face. He took shrapnel all to the face, just little peppered shrapnel. Mark took the majority of the blast for Moreau. And you could literally see the outline of his Oakley's. Like fucking those things saved his vision. And so he loaded up, and then our interpreter, he took a chunk of shrapnel through the hip. It shattered his pelvis. So they loaded him up, and then everything slowed down. That first chopper went out, second one came in, everything slowed down, and they're like, oh, first platoon, get inside here now. I was like, I'm on security, I can't move. And they're like, second platoon, take over security for long. Cool. Came inside, and we had this guy, Staff Sergeant Rodriguez, who's now a CSM. He's Command Sergeant Major. No shit. This dude is, I mean, he is the epitome of what a soldier should be. And this was the only time in my life I ever saw a career tough guy, because like he was fucking hard, man. And he started to break, and I'd never seen it before. And I still, at this point, I had no idea what was going on. I was like, what happened? Who was hit? You know, I saw Moreau. Like, is Moreau going to be okay? Like, that's all I saw. I thought it was just Moreau. And, you know, Sergeant Day, he was over. I remember seeing him against the wall, and he had already broken. He like couldn't keep it together anymore. And I was like, what's going on? And Sergeant Rod was like, hey, we need to have a moment of silence for the guys we just lost. And I was like, who do, and they still didn't give us a name at that point in time. So I start like counting, and it's fucked up. It's totally fucked up. You see the people in the faces coming back, and you're hoping who it's not, which is, it's a shitty thing to do, and you just can't really help it, right? It's just not something mentally you can prepare for. And the first person who came through the door I saw was Jeremiah Gates. And he actually ended up being a Green Beret in Special Forces. And then he played football for Iowa, like one of the college teams there. And then he left college and went back to the Special Forces. Gates is, we call him the Nerd Hulk, because from the neck down, he's fucking yoked. From the neck up, like pizza face, Coke bottle glasses, kind of talk like this. It's fucking great. I love Gates, man.
Foster, you watching this? I know your ass is. Same motherfucker. Foster's a fucking dude. This dude, real quick. 100, Foster, I think he was 6'2", 6'4". How tall were you? He was like 6'2", 6'4", 140 pounds, 130 pounds, tiny, skinny little dude. Then Sergeant Tanker Shooty got him lifting weights. And Shooty was a farm boy, just always benched. He could incline bench 315 all day long.
God damn.
Dude was just like 240 pounds of just pure muscle, or 260 pounds, but 5'9". He got Foster into lifting. Foster went up to 240 pounds from like 140 pounds of pure muscle, but still the nerd face up top, and then just like, ooh, like, whoa, bro, what the fuck happened, Foster? Creatine.
Dude, Gates is good people, and he was the first one I saw, and he was a 240 gunner at that point in time. So I helped him take off the 240. I helped him get his body armor off, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what he had just been through. Yeah. So like I hugged him. Like that was all I could do. And the next one I saw come through was Ronnie, Justin Rontes, and Ronnie. I love Ronnie, but he made a very stupid decision before the deployment. He told my mom he was going to bring me back home alive. Don't ever say that. Don't ever fucking promise that. Don't do that. That's never something you do.
Also, since the bomb shit's way worse than I could think of. Yeah. It's okay. I'll take care of your boy.
Yeah, and Ronnie, his whole pant leg was soaked in blood. I didn't know who from. And then Sergeant Matt Williams, who actually, he does country now. He's a country singer. Yeah, Matt, he's good people. He's a good friend of mine. He came through and I watched him break. He like threw his fucking Kevlar against the wall, and then he like collapsed to his knees, M4 barrel in the dirt, and just put his heads on top of the buttstock and fucking broke. I watched him break. That's about the time we found out it was Mark and Casey, which...
Gotcha.
Oh, that was a month in. We got there at the end of July, beginning of August, and that was a month in, and I was like, what the fuck did I get into? Like, what the fuck is happening?
It sets the tonality for war, but it's also that wake-up call of, hey, we're not invincible. Yeah. There is no, doesn't matter your training, doesn't matter any of that. Everyone is fallible, and everyone can just
gone.
Chicken, just in a matter of 1 minute, that much can change. And then in 30 minutes, you're finding out all this. I've told the story before. It was mission 2. I got hit. We lost Goodyear in the back. Gate got back. after an 8-hour gunfight, we got back to Falcon, and then we find out Mark sits down across from me. I'm like, yo, what's going on? And I lost my whole team. I'm like, what the fuck? You weren't on patrol. We were mission day. They were just on a quick patrol. He's like, we got back to base. We parked. Mortar fell right in between all the strikers, right where they just parked to eat chow. And they dropped ramp eating chow on base, and it just landed right there. Killed Ham, and then wiped out 5 other people. Just got peppered with shrapnel, and they were all sent home. And that was mission 2. And that was completely different areas all together. Yeah. And then that was like, what the fuck?
That was what, like 2006?
That was 2007. That was like
2007.
Surge just kicked off. So it was, hey. And that's where we're like, wait, is this how the rest is going to be? And sure shit, rest of that deployment was just that. It would be like, hey, we lost 1. Oh, shit. Okay. Break. We just lost 4 guys. Break. Hey, 2 people are dead. Break. 1 is dead. Oh, fucking striker fell in the river. Watson drowned. Like, he couldn't get out, so drowned. Mm-hmm. So we have to go recover striker body. Boom. And so it's all those, like, what the fuck? And there is no, this is what's going to happen. You don't know. You literally have no idea. Someone might die. Someone might not die.
And the thing is, and what not a lot of people understand is, like, let's say you're working in a construction site and you lose somebody. They give you, like, time to grieve, time to heal, time to do anything. Us, it was like, these guys just died. We got to go clear the area because we're dropping fucking ordnance on it. Like, we have a job to do. Keep your fucking head on straight. We have a job to do. Guess what? 2 people are dead. That sucks, but more are going to die if you don't do your job right. And there's no time, so you become very, like, numb to everything, and you just exist.
Yeah, there's no downtime. You get, like, the talk from I'm sure, same thing. It was like your platoon sergeant and then your company sergeant talk to you, and your company, he's a company sergeant, right? The first sergeant talk to you, and then your company commander would talk to you and give their spiel, but also, hey, sorry, you might get like 12 hours down. I don't know how you did it. We were supposed to get 24 hours, and then he apologized, like, hey, sorry, we have a mission. You got to go fucking hit a house, and we're like, oh shit, okay, we're gone. For us, our battalion commander, who I think is a general now, Clay Paget, he's like 6 foot 1,000. The guy is. He is war as fuck. Like, the dude is, like, he likes to fight. And he came out and he just started, like, hugging every single one of us. Like, he cared about the Reaper platoon. The man gave a shit. And he didn't want to lose people, which, I mean, obviously no one wants to lose people. But some battalion commanders, like, well, this is an acceptable amount of losses. 0 was his acceptable. Like, that's the way he worked. He was like, we're going to find these motherfuckers and we're going to kill them. Like, he's like, we're not taking them captive. We're going to fucking kill them. Like, that's just the way he was. And then our chaplain came out, Chip Satterley. And Chaplain Satterley, I got blessed, man. He was probably the best chaplain the United States Army has ever had. I think he's still in. And later that night, I was pulling security again. I was just inside the door, just sitting behind a saw. And he came over. It was like 10 o'clock at night. Fucking, he's just like, hey, Long, how you doing, man? You want to talk? And it was the only time in my life I ever said, like, hey, sir, respectfully, I just don't feel like talking about it. Like, and he's like, that's fine. Take your time. He goes, if you need me, I'm going to just be talking with other people. Just kind of wave me down. And I was like, yes, sir. He's a hell of a chaplain. One of the best because, and he had a double dip. Kind of sucks for him because Chaplain Goats. So we had Chaplain Satterley, and Chaplain Goats was, I want to say it was either 710 or 166 armor. I want to say 166 armor. He was their chaplain, and he had gotten killed the same day we lost Mark and Casey. No shit.
So he was the first chaplain killed in combat since the Vietnam War. Chaplain Goats. Dude. Yeah.
Was it ID blast?
Yeah, it took out him and like everyone in the truck.
No,
I think it was like 4 or 5. So the day we lost 2, 166 armor lost like 4 or 5.
The chaplains, that was, I forget my chaplain names in a sec because he was a really good dude, and he would speak to everyone, and he's just amazing to talk to. And then if you're Bible, Quran, whatever it was, he was very knowledgeable on everything because he wanted to help everyone. But when that stuff started happening and seeing like the tempo, he would pay attention to like, hey, Bravo Company, they're in the shit right now. Like they're the spear point out here. And Alpha and Charlie, yes, they were doing amazing shit too. Everyone was doing shit. But it's like, hey, they're out in Spectre and they're in the, we were known for like the Death Blossom. There were other companies like, holy shit, Bravo Company gets in all the gunfights. Because I thought, and everyone can account for this as like Ennis or any of the boys getting, it's like I have so many, Markford, all the front stores. we thought it was so, Ross got Sofa, Raina, it was so normal to be in a gunfight every day. We thought that was, everyone was going through that. We didn't know that until we got back out and our buddies were going through group therapy, and they would talk and they would be like, man, I went to group therapy and they like an ID or ID hit the convoy that they did once every 2 weeks and no one died, but an explosion happened and they all got rattled from it. And I had to hear about that. I was like, what? What? And he's like, and then I tried to tell one story and then no one's believing, or they're like, wait, you got in how many gunfights? I don't know, like 50, I guess like 50 gunfights. And it was so foreign to everyone else. And then I started hearing combat stories. It was like, oh, fuck, we had a shitty deployment.
Yeah.
Like, what? So then it made way more sense when we had, oh yeah, you lost 16 over there, but then you have like 28, 29 suicides since we've been back. So that's when it started clicking. Oh, I need to make sure everyone's doing okay. And then really push mental health, talking to a therapist, figuring stuff out, talking to your boys, and then understanding and not being like, hey, oh, stop being a pussy. You just went through a gunfight. It's, oh, dude, you went through some shit. Like
that was Ronnie for me, Sergeant Justin Rontes. He's still in too, and he noticed I was off. Like, yes, I mean, on paper, I was a great soldier. I was fucking physically fit. I was there. I did everything I needed to do. I was good. But he noticed something was off about me. It's because I wasn't hardly sleeping. I would literally like work all day, go fucking beast out in the gym, and then close the bar, sleep for like 3 or 4 hours, and then right back to work. Like that was my just everyday routine. And what's crazy is I got to the unit and Ronnie and LaRue and all those other guys, they had already been to Iraq before. And so before we went to Afghanistan, they were like, well, Iraq had this, Iraq did this, Iraq did that, right? And they're like, so I never did Iraq. So when we got back, I thought like their Iraq deployment was so much worse. Like that just mentally, I was like, I thought it was just so much worse. And Ronnie, pulled me aside one day. He's like, hey man, I'm going to go talk to somebody. I think you should come with me. And I was like, yeah, I mean, there's other people who've been through a lot worse like that. That was, it's not a big deal. Like, we lost a couple of guys, had a couple more wounded. And he's like, Long, I'm going to tell you, man, like that was bad. He's like, that was worse than Iraq. He's like, that was very fucking bad. And I was like, oh, and it was because Ronnie was willing to be honest with me like that. Like, hey, I have something to compare this to, and what we went through was worse. I was like, oh. So that's when I went and I started, seeking help for it. So shout out to Ronnie, man. Ronnie's a hell of a fucking leader, great NCO. The world is a better place with people like him serving. It really is.
And a lot of those people, we had dudes that came from other deployments at the beginning of Iraq War, Afghanistan. And then when they were part of that push, that's when the tempo of the jokes changed to like, man, this is a completely different war than when I was part of. Holy shit. I remember when we had a running joke. We were doing the Spartan thing from 300. It's like, to die gloriously on the battlefield is what we live for. And I remember one of the Schumer, what was my lieutenant's name? Whatever his name was. He's like, come here. He was like, yes, sir. And he's like, what's the motto? I was like, to try to live as long as possible. And he was caught off guard because he got in late. So he's like, what happened to the motto? I was like, bro, we've been in so many gunfights right now. Like, we just don't want to die so fast right now. So we're not going to die gloriously on the battlefield. What we will do is maintain and hopefully not die on the battlefield. Make it back home. He was like, what the fuck? And then he was like, oh, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah.
This sucks dick.
You have those weird, like, almost prayers that you have. Like, I can think of probably twice while I was over in Afghanistan where I just, like, I'd see what situation I'm in. I'm like, just don't let me die here. Like, let me die in a car wreck when I get back home. Like, I just don't want to die in this fucking place. Like, fuck, man.
Bro, come on. Come on, dog. And then you just be muscle through it. But then, okay, so the deployment, you were dealing with that. At least, was it halfway through deployment, or is it when you were back that you started talking and getting help for everything?
It was when I was back.
Okay.
It was, I pushed all the way through that. We just didn't have time while I was there. Our commander wanted us to have 20 hours a sector a day. 20 hours in sector a day, excuse me.
It sucks, but it's also a saving grace because you can't think about that shit.
Yeah, well, also on top of that, and I tell you, it's probably the coolest fucking feeling. There's no feeling I found in this world that compares to it. Is we were pulling security, and my interpreter was listening to the radio, and I didn't understand there's a method to the madness. And when you keep us out in sector that long, the enemy doesn't have freedom of maneuver because they have to go through us. And so he's listening to the radio, and I was like, what's going on? I think it was Hollywood at that time. I can't remember his real name. We just called him Hollywood. And I was like, Hollywood, what are they talking about? And he's like, they're watching you. So I stand up, start doing my sniper ABCs. I'm like, I don't know if you're familiar with the sniper ABCs? Just moving all different directions while singing the ABCs in your head just to.
I didn't know about that, dude. We did. I don't know if you had to watch. Did they do the desensitizing training before you deployed? You had to watch just soldiers get like shot in the head and sniped and all that.
No.
Okay. This is where this was part before we deployed. We had to go through like desensitizing and dehumanizing. So we'd just watch videos. We'd all sit in the day room, and it's like, hey, I forget that sniper's name in Iraq at the time. It was like the Jackal, and then was it the Jackal? It was one of those dudes, but he killed a buck ton and recorded them all. So it was videos of him just sniping people and turrets, sniping people that are just standing there.
Name tape defilade on them turrets. Name tape defilade.
Dude. Like one, he shot a dude in the knee, guy goes down. And then that got the commander to walk out to go grab him, and he shot the commander in the head. And then another goes around and shoots that guy in the head. So we were watching all of that going over there. So it's showing, hey, if you're stationary, look how easy you are to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
This is in the turret when you're just like, and you're not moving. If you're on patrol and you're not like moving, you're taking these stand up left. Don't just pull security and just sit there as a stone. So it was ingrained in us. It's like, hey, pivot, boom, stand here, stand up, move, look left, right, shuffle backwards. Okay, back down. Okay, move. Okay, let's get in, get vertical superiority. Hey, when I'm on top or I'm taking sniper position, okay, I'm going to pull away from the window. I'm going to open up a little blind spot where they can't see me. Nothing's protruding. Okay, I can see everything, but nothing can see in on me or get a bead on me. Or if I'm on a roof, I am now peeking up in different areas each and every time I'm watching my sectors. Okay, we're good to go. Like that shit was ingrained.
Yeah, you always moving, moving.
Especially after those videos where you're like,
gotta keep moving. And
keep going.
So he was telling me, he's like, they're watching you. So I start checking my 5s and 25s. I'm looking at windows. I'm doing the sniper ABCs. I'm like, where are they at? I was like, give me a direction, Hollywood. I'm gonna fucking take their head off their shoulders. Like, where are they at? And he's like, no, they're not going to attack. And I was like, what do you mean they're not going to attack? And he's like, they say you never sleep. You're like demons. You're everywhere. And I was like, I tell you right now, there's no better feeling in the world than knowing your enemy is afraid of you. There is not a single feeling that like they want to kill you, but they're afraid of you because they can't get to their caches. They can't plant their IEDs. You're constantly out in sector and they have no idea where the hell you are. That made me feel really fucking good.
Okay, this serves a fucking purpose.
Yeah, that was when it clicked.
Juba, that's his name.
Juba?
Juba, also known as the Baghdad Sniper, achieved notoriety through video showcasing his attacks on U.S. soldiers using a Dragunov sniper rifle, and he would film everything. And this dude would be in sewer grates, like under in the sewer system. Just you would see out from like the street point of view where they don't know. He was a really good fucking sniper, and he was accurate. And he could be sometimes within 50 yards of a soldier, and they did not know that. And they're just doing a patrol around him. He's like, boom, bonk, just drop him. So we had to watch a whole bunch of those before we went on deployment. But it set the mindset. It's like, hey, this is what you're going into. So get used to this. This is why you move. This is why you don't stop.
Yep.
And it's like, I'm glad we went through that. And then it's weird also, like you're like, no, I didn't have to watch soldiers die for train up. What the fuck?
No. But it is crazy though. And I'm really glad that I got that experience because when I switched over to air defense, I looked at everything a little bit differently than everybody else did. So got done with the deployment. I went to re-enlist because I was like, I love this. I love the fight. I want to stay in the fight. They said, pick a new job or get out. So I was like, oh, what do you got available? And they offered me 14 Echo, 14 Tango, and Vet Tech. Echo is what I picked, is a Patriot Fire Control Operator Maintainer. And then 14 Tango is the launcher dogs with the Patriot Launch Station Operator Maintainer. So if you ever hear me talk about the Tangos or the Hawk Crew or the launcher dogs, those are the 14 Tangos. And so switched over and I hated it. I hated it. They sent me to Korea, was my first duty station, and I in-processed people there because I didn't know about air defense. And one of the biggest problems in air defense is people refuse to teach each other because it takes so much time to train somebody up, and then they PCS to another unit, which I didn't know at the time, which is stupid because if everybody trained everyone and they PCS to another unit, guess what? You're getting trained people.
Yeah, wild idea.
Crazy idea.
Hey.
So we would get, I'd get these people in and I was like, this is stupid. And I remember I finally got to Fort Sill and my platoon sergeant, who is now, he's actually a Space Force officer, Lauren Kasaya. And he sent me to Gate Guard. And I've told that story before. That was like my come to Jesus. I was like, I need to learn this shit. I want to learn it and I want to get good at it because I need to be an asset instead of a liability. And they sent me back, and I went to the first thing. I was on the antenna mass group, started crushing it there, and then they made me a communication systems operator, started crushing it there, and then I was a tactical control assistant, started crushing it there, and then they made me a battery trainer, crushing it there, and it was a constant learning thing. And I think the only reason I got good at it is because I asked the why. And not a lot of people, they're like, well, I know what buttons to push in what order. I'm like, cool, what does that button do to the system? How does that affect your probability of kill? How does that affect how the missile flies? How does that affect your engagement altitude? Like, they didn't know, and I was like, I want to know. I want to know why these things happen, which, believe it or not, just made the whole thing way more interesting to me. You go to any air defense unit, you throw a rock, you're going to hit 10 people who don't care about that job. But they're also incapable of doing anything of use. They have no idea what the fuck they're doing. They're like, well, I set up the generator and I fire it up. Cool, why aren't you getting into tactics? Well, they won't put me in there. Is anyone telling you can't stand in there and watch and ask questions?
That's a lot of extra work.
Yeah, I want to get some sleep and I got a PMCS. And it's like, bro, your lack of motivation is the reason you suck at this.
Dude, and if I can speak to you, it is also why I love working with you and why you became a business partner extremely fast was, oh, this dude gives a shit and he's motivated and he'll learn and then apply it. We did an hour when we went to long form for you. You're like, how do I do this? What do I do? And then I just showed you. We sat down and did Photoshop, After Effects, and like, hey, this is how you're going to fill in the sides. This is how you're going to apply it. This will make your job easy, but this is all you have to do. Once you start doing this, you will make a good chunk of change.
Yeah, it definitely changed the income stream for sure.
Yeah, and you like fucking 4x your paychecks,
yeah,
probably around there.
Yeah,
like, and that's a 4x quite simply because he listened and applied it. Where we give this information, and if you listen to it, it works. It's not fucking rocket science. We want to see people succeed. I love watching my friends succeed. I love watching strangers succeed. It is awesome. And you were the first dude that was like, hey, can you help me do this? I was like, yeah, come here. We hopped on, FaceTime?
Yeah, it was either a Discord call or something. I showed you my screen and you're like, try this, do this. And you like walked me through it. And I think within like 12 hours, I had my first widescreen fucking HLC video up. And you were like, that's one thing I love about you, Eli, is when you tell somebody something, you sit back and you're like, let's see. And then when I start implementing it, I'll get like a little text like, bro, that looks fucking awesome.
Well, dude, and it was awesome because we did what I like is I'm going to show you and then I'm going to make you do it. And then now do it for me without me telling you how to do it. You wrote down your own notes, which was great. You're like, hey, wait, what do I do now? I was like, this. So you went through and we did that course and then you kicked it back and you did it for me without me helping. I was like, okay, you're off to the races. And then boom. And then I got that text. You're like, holy shit. I like 4x my paycheck. We're like, let's go.
Yeah, that's part of the reason I love being here with you guys and the Unsub crew is you genuinely want people to succeed. Like there's no jealousy here. That's you know what's funny is my stepfather-in-law Tim. He watches all the Unsub stuff and he loves all you guys. He likes Nick, which I'm not gonna lie, kind of take that personal because like he has access to my pepper box and it'll be like recently watched and it's all Nick's videos. I'm like, God damn it, he never watches mine. But there's no jealousy here. You guys all like, yes, you know you're at different like levels of like subscribers and income and things like that, but you're all like, hey, have you tried this? You're just trying to be helpful with one another because you want everybody to do better. And it's so rare to find a group like that. That's why I'm so glad I get to be a part of this.
I think everyone has their strengths, everyone has their weaknesses, and then how do you really grab the strengths? Let each other know their weaknesses, but then if you let people really capitalize on their strengths as a team, holy shit, the sky is the limit. Because yeah, you're not going to be good at everything. You just have to check that ego. It's like, hey, this dude's better at business. This dude's better on a camera. This dude's better at the writing. This dude's better at X, Y, Z. But I'm good at this. But if we put it together, look what we can do. And you had no ego. You're like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm really good. And I said, I was like, brother, you have the magical formula where you're doing this. It's really simple. So how do we keep it simple? But how do we do it on long form for you?
Yep.
And then I thought about it. I was like, oh shit. Okay. Hey, watch this.
Yeah.
We can do fill generate on Photoshop. That makes the sidebar.
Yep.
You did that and you're like, oh shit, okay, this is how I generate these outside sectors to make it widescreen. Perfect. And then you just did your magic, which I didn't understand, which is, I understand it, but because you do on TikTok, it's simple. I was like, don't change that. My guy, that is simple and it's working. Do not fucking reinvent the wheel. Don't make extra steps if you don't have to.
Yeah, and then I took yours and I continued to refine it, and I had a friend of mine kind of like build a software setup so that I could do it that way, and
now it's golden. And now you're introducing new characters, and then you and Nick with Habitually Fat's crushing, and that was, again, it just made sense. It's like both you, especially when it's like military equipment and history, you both love both of those things, and you have your strengths with it. Now you have a captivating show to watch where you're like, oh shit, I'll watch this for 40 minutes.
yeah,
I'll watch this for an hour.
it's awesome. And for me, it's a little self-serving because like I like museums and shit anyways, but now I get to share it with people and I can make money doing it. Like
Oh no.
I found a way to monetize going to museums with my homie. Fuck, man, this is like, it's the American dream right there.
And you're making it fun to learn, which crazy story makes people want to fucking learn. I know. Wild take.
I know. That's one of the things that when I was a battery trainer for a unit, I always gave them the why, and I tried to throw things at them that would keep it interesting. And I'm like, well, this is why this missile does this. This is how this operates. And like, I would throw things at them that were just so ambiguous and out there that they had to make decisions on their own. And like, that was such a weird concept for air defenders because like, since we shot down our branch shot down the friendly aircraft, they shoved a leash up our ass. We can't pull triggers on fucking anything without somebody authorizing it. So I would like read what we're allowed to shoot and not shoot. And I'd be like, all right, I'm going to put it right in the gray area in between all this shit. What are you going to do? And they're like, and at first lieutenants were always really scared because they're like, well, what am I supposed to do in this situation? There is no right answer. You're either judged by 12 or carried by 6. Your choice.
Yep.
And I was like,
that's the responsibility you have to fucking carry.
Yep.
That's part of being a leader.
And it sucks for them, but I'm just like, pull the trigger. And sometimes I would do it like close enough to the wrong answer that if they pulled the trigger, I would like immediately pause the system, pause the simulation. I'm like, boop. Tell me why you did that. And they're like, well, because of this, this, and this, and this. And then as long as they were able to justify their actions, I'm like, cool, let's keep going. Like, let's move on.
See, that's good too. It's the why. Why did you do that? As you started with that, it's like, well, I would ask myself the why. And now you're making other people, why did you do that action? Oh, well, X, Y, and Z. Good.
Yeah, good. Let's continue.
That innocent family's dead.
Yeah.
Thank you for the whys. They're like, what kind of simulation is this?
You smoked a civilian airliner. Tell me why you did that.
Now deliver these flags to their family members.
Oh, man.
So when you got out, then it was the next step was, okay, getting out. You didn't even get out, which is awesome. you started doing content while being in, which you're doing class at this time. You're actually a teacher, right?
Yes.
And then what made you go into, I want to do content at the same time?
So,
especially in the military, which is, you're like, oh, hopefully I don't get in trouble. But was that the anonymity? That's probably helped with the ideas like, well, I won't show my face.
Well, originally I actually did a lot of sketch comedy.
Fuck yes, my guy.
And I
does not pay money because it takes so much work.
Yeah, but I did get an Article 15 for it, but I ran naked across a training area for a flash flood joke. Worth it. Fucking hilarious. But yeah, I got an Article 15.
14 or 7?
This was, I got 45. I got
45 days?
I got a field grade.
45 with restriction? Did you get demoted?
No, I didn't get demoted. They suspended everything else. I just got 45 days extra duty. And, it was technically restriction, but I lived off post, so I was able to go to my house.
Bro, 45's wild.
Yeah.
If you have like a 7 and a 14.
Yep. There's so summarized, company grade, and then field grade is 45.
You got a field grade?
I got a field grade.
Bro, so during the surge, I had a bunch of people got 45s for popping hot for piss tests. Mm-hmm. Guess what? They would just get a field grade. They stay in.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is wartime. They're like, we still need you to go fight.
Dude, when I first came in 2009, I knew a 9-year PFC. They just kept demoting him, and they wouldn't let him leave because, like, it was wartime. Like, it was the way it was.
Fuck, dude, that's wild. You got a 45. But go on.
Yeah. So when I was in UAE for my second deployment, I was married at that point in time to my ex-wife. I wish her all the best in her future endeavors. I really do. We were not right for each other. She made some very careless. You know what? Fuck it. I'll just go ahead and say it. She found a new boyfriend while I was deployed.
Yeah.
She
knows Jody.
Yeah. Of course. Well, it was her ex at one point in time, so I don't know, anyways, so whatever. And so right around that time, she left. This was 10 months into my deployment. And I was like, okay. And I told her when we first got together, I was like, you ever say you're done with me? Like, there's no turning back. Like, that's it. We're walking away. I wish you the best. I'll do, I'll change everything over to my name. I'll give you what you want, whatever. And so when I got home, she had actually taken like most of my stuff. She took my truck, which I was like, well, if you want the truck here. And she's like, I can't afford the payment. So why the fuck did you take it? So she took it to Colorado, cleared out my house. But I remember, anyways, we were getting home and there was a little part of me that was like, maybe she'll be there waiting, maybe. And I remember walking into Reinhardt Gym on Fort Sill, because that's where I was stationed at, and I walked in and they had like fucking Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue playing, and we're all marching together and that fucking confetti, and there's families cheering, and I was like, cool. Still kind of hoping against odds. And I remember like they called dismissed and everyone ran to their families. I looked around, no one there for me. I was like, yeah, that's what I figured. So I grabbed my bag and I was actually going to walk home, and I lived like 8 miles away. And I was just like, for me, I didn't want to bother anyone else. I was like, I didn't want to be like, hey man, can I get a ride home? This is not the person that I was. And my buddy, James Dean McCraw, he's out now. He's a great guy. One of the best friends I have. He was like, hey man, come with me. You can borrow my second car. Get yourself home. And I was like, you don't have to do that, man. You're here with your family. And his wife insisted. She was like, no, you
stop being a stubborn dick.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Stop being a stubborn dick.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of you out there. Don't be stubborn.
Oh, man.
Reach a hand out.
And it was a 2010 Kia Forte, burgundy interior. That was his big thing about it. And so I took this car and I drove back to my house, which was out on 79th in Lawton, Oklahoma. And I remember walking into my house. Power was shut off. Gas was shut off. Heat was shut off. It was 54 degrees inside my house because it was November in Oklahoma. And I was like...
No power?
Yeah, I had nothing. Everything was turned off. And I was like... Yeah. And I remember I hit a fucking low spot, man. I was not doing okay. Like that was hard. That was painful. And so I remember like I got everything turned back on, and a couple days later I made like my first funny video. Habitual Linecrosser didn't even exist back then.
Yeah.
And I made my first funny video, and I did it kind of selfishly. I wanted people to tell me I was funny. I wanted them to tell me I was great. Like I needed that pick me up. And so I made one, and I got some, good feedback from it. And then I made another one. And I don't even remember what they all were. And after a while, after a couple of weeks, I realized kind of what I was doing. And like the happiness I was getting out of it was that no one else felt like I did when I stepped off that plane. Like I didn't want anyone else to feel like just completely alone and forgotten, which is pretty much how I felt. I felt fucking awful. And And so I continued kind of off and on making videos while I was still there. And then I moved to White Sands. And I mean, before that I was making, I tried a bunch of different names. There was one, I named myself Big Bob's Military Surplus, where I put on like a Southern draw and I was trying to sell military surplus and shit. Dude, I did a bunch of different ones. And then I remember,
many failures before.
Yeah, many failures.
The one that hit.
And right at that point in time, TikTok was becoming a big thing.
Yep.
And I was at White Sands and I was living by myself. And this girl that I worked with, she was like, "You should get on TikTok. You're funny." You know, like you know, she's seen some of my other funny videos. And I was like, "All right, you know, I'll try it out, whatever." You know, finally I downloaded TikTok and I was like, "Oh, what kind of name?" And the name Habitual Linecrosser comes from my commander when I was a battery trainer. I got my Article 15 and Captain William Abbott, one of the best commanders I've ever had. Great dude. And he pulled me aside and he's like, "You know, Sergeant Long, you should have been in a lot of trouble since you were my battery trainer." He's like, "You are a habitual line crosser." And I was like, And he's like, "You know why you're not?" I was like, "Why is that?" And he goes, "Because you're really good at what you do." Because like my crews were trained, they were proficient, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And I was like, "Thanks for playing my strengths." He ran blocker for me a lot. I bent a lot of rules. But it was all about like getting the job done. Like
that's good leadership.
Yeah, he ran blocker for me as much as he could until I ran naked and you know the battalion got a hold of it. He knew I knew that he couldn't run blocker. He knew that I did that. He wasn't mad. And I knew, like, he's like, you know, when you go to your Article 15 hearing, he's like, "There's no friends in there." I was like, "Sir, I'm not turning you in. Like, you ran blocker for me way too much." And he was, you know, they're reading me the riot act, and I was like, "Hey, you know, I acted alone. My chain of command didn't know about this. No, I'm not throwing them under the fucking bus. They had my back. Fuck you. I ain't doing that."
That's good leadership, and then a good person at your end because you had their back because they've always had yours. There wasn't like I'm going to cave now. It's like, no, I did that. My wiener was out because I chose my wiener to be out.
Yeah. And they, so I got over to White Sands and I started doing the habitual line crosser thing. And originally I was just sketch comedy, and it was hit or miss. Sometimes sketch comedy would do really well, and I would explode, and other times it just wouldn't. And it just would flop. And I was like, I don't know, you know, and I always did the whole I'm shadow banned thing, right? Which isn't really a shadow ban thing. Usually it's like the first, it's a litmus test because they show it to like, the way most algorithms work is they'll show it to like a control group. And if they don't interact with it, like it, share it, whatever, it won't get pushed out to more people. That's the way the algorithm works. It's a dopamine response ultimately. And, around that time, the green screen eyes and mouth filter was getting real big. And I remember I was watching the news and I was like, I can make fun of this. You know, I used to growing up watching Jay Leno, who was like the king of fucking satirical news comedy. I mean, he was a champion. And I was like, I can make fun of this. And at that point in time, I didn't have like characters in my head. I didn't have, you know, like lore in my head. I was just like, I'm going to make fun of the news. And I remember I made fun of the news and then it just continued and it exploded. And I was like, okay, let's keep going. So I did it again and I did it again and I did it again. And then I was like, okay, well, how do I make it better? And at first I was only doing accents for white nations. Like I would do a German accent, I would do a British accent.
You're like,
yeah, I was like, I don't want to do like Asia or anything else like that. And then somebody, I can't even remember their name, but they commented, they're like, you know, the fact that you're only doing white nations and not doing everyone's accent is inherently racist. And I was like, you fucking right.
It is.
You are absolutely right.
It sucks that it's the fear of, well, I don't want repercussions or pushback because I did a Chinese accent or Japanese accent, because it is racist not to do that. Because now you're like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't. It's like treating Raiden or someone different because autism. It's like, I can't make fun of that because they're a little bit different. Instead, it's peak South Park. And everything's on the table. And I think that's more inclusive where you're making fun of everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, that is a funny looking. He sounded very like my aunt. You're like, yes. Let's make all the accents now.
And I, with like the planes, like I'm an air defender. So like my job is Patriot. And people are like, you don't feature Patriot that much. And it's like, it's because it's not used that much. But you know what? People always like planes.
Yeah.
And I did not know the can of worms that I was open with the plane community, because now that I've gotten into plane people, they each have their favorite plane and they know everything about that plane. And everyone wants to see their favorite plane featured and featured in the right way. And I'm like, do you have any idea how hard it is to skirt that line and deliver you a character that is perfect and spot on for what you want? Like that is so difficult to do.
Oh, I love it. You're crushing it, though. I was so honored when you asked me to do one of the Asian accents.
Dude.
Yes, 100%. You always let me know when you need an Asian accent and what to say or guidelines, and I'll make it up. Because it is the perfect amount of comedy that is just, I'll make fun of everyone in each country. I'll also fuck America at the end of the day. But here, let's have fun.
I mean, I even make fun of the U.S. when we make dumb decisions.
Exactly.
And I mean, this is the thing. At first, I want to make everybody happy, but I realized like there's the political spectrum, which is what I consider. And no matter what I say, people who are on the far side of the left and right are always going to say that I'm supporting their opposition. It doesn't matter what I say. Like when I made fun of anything that fucking, Weekend at Bernie's, our previous president, did. They would fucking, you're conservative, you love Trump, blah, blah, blah. And then I'll say something that's like, I really absolutely disagree with this opinion and the way they're treating this situation in Ukraine. Oh, you fucking liberal. And it's like, dude, like last night I said something about, I was making fun of a Russian making, a Russian post. And someone tagged unsubscribe. They're like, I bet unsubscribe would disagree with your opinion. I was like, it's crazy when you realize that people can have different opinion about geopolitics and still get along with each other. It's a nuts idea.
Wild concept.
Yeah.
We don't agree on everything. That would actually be an echo chamber, and I fucking shit myself if I was part of that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be friends with everyone that hype men, yes men, or just in a solid group that's just like, yeah. That's Reddit. I don't need Reddit. Yeah. I need outside of Reddit. I want difference of opinions. I want pushback. That's how I grow as a human.
Exactly. I want someone to tell me I'm fucking wrong. I want someone to challenge my opinion. But when you challenge my opinion, and I think you guys are all the same way, challenge my opinion, that's fine. Do it in a way that is logical. Don't just be like, you're a fucking homosexual. Like, well, it doesn't help me. Or like when someone comments like, these videos suck. That doesn't help me. Why do they suck? Tell me what you need.
Dog, you just called me gay. I need to know why I'm gay. It's like, well, dude, I will say we'll wrap this up and we'll do an after show after. We're going to film Unsub. We're right on time. We're tracking. I was like, okay, cool. But, dude, this was an absolute pleasure. We might kick off and get a little more in because I still have a couple more questions down the road. But
okay.
Ethan, thank you so fucking much for your time, brother. This is the shit I love. This is why this started. I want to know my friends' stories. I want to know more about them, where they came from, what drives them. And I think you just crushed this one, brother. So thank you so damn much, man. No, thank you, bro. This is your time. I appreciate you, my friend.
I appreciate you having me here, man. And I'm glad that I got to help out with the set. And it's so what's the word I'm looking for? Invigorating to watch my friends succeed and do great things. So like to be a part of it is always humbling.
Well, thank you. And I am truly appreciative. We have an unsub that might be out by the time this comes out, or we have Kind of Consensual. Go check out any of those. But where do we find you?
You'll find me at habituallinecrosser.com. That has a link to all of my socials. And if you click on the top link, which should be the pepperbox.tv, you'll also get to see all of my original content. You'll get to see the 3 exclusive shows I'm on, which is HLC State of Mind, which is all the characters you guys all know and love, but history focused. You'll get Kind of Consensual, which is me, Eli, Rich, and Nick, all on a podcast there where we tell your military stories. And then, of course, Habitually Fat, where me and the Fat Electrician get to go travel around the country to different museums.
Boom! Thank you, guys. Enjoy the after show. We fucking love you. Kisses.